Hey everyone, this is fioraliz.
This is Joe. Welcome back. I'm glad you joined us this week.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good today. The energy is very supportive of lots of good intuitive insight. I pulled a 12-month forecast for myself,
Oh,
and
you
it
did?
was really enlightening, and it was fun. I like doing those. They're fun.
Yeah, I think they're very helpful. It's like a nice little guide.
It, it is. And the thing is that, maybe some people that get them forget to go back, and look at them, but not me. I mean, intuitive insight is my life pretty much. So at the beginning of every month, when I do all of my research for what astro energy I'm going to experience, what my numerological, that's not how you say that. How my numbers energy is going to present. Like I do a whole recon at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to be experiencing, and what do I need to know? So I use it as a daily tool almost.
Yeah, I mean it is such a good tool, and especially when you know how to use it, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you? What's going on down there? Is it the rain, or is the weather evened out yet?
Yes, we finally it stopped raining. I don't even know if there's more rain on the forecast. I have no idea. I'm just appreciating that it's nice, and I think the high of 57 today, and yeah, it's like it's chilly, so it's perfect sweater weather, but the sun's out. So, no,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just enjoying that. Spent this last weekend going out with my friend. So my friend, she had her birthday was in like December 22nd, so right, like along the holidays, and like
Mm-hmm.
my poor cap friends, like December cap friends, like you guys always get the short end of the stick when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to birthdays. Like
Mm-hmm. It's
you get,
bullshit, is what it is.
yeah, you get the fucking combo gifts, or like people
Mm-hmm.
just straight up forget your birthday, like.
Mm-hmm.
So I had messaged her on her birthday, and I told her, I was like, I want to take you out, there's this like cool little bar thing that opened up around near me, and I wanted to take her there, but it obviously took us weeks to finally, between her work schedule and the holidays and everything. So we went out, and we are talking, and she's telling me, she's like, I've got to tell you about the things I've been experiencing lately. She's a medium,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like know what to do with it.
Ooh, now you're talking my language. What, like
Yeah.
what, like what happens?
So she has a coworker who lost a son about a year ago. And every time she's talking to this coworker about her son, that son's energy just comes like just
Yeah,
straight in, and she feels him like right away. And
yeah,
so she's describing how it feels to me, like she's saying how there's like this restlessness. Like
yeah,
first, like it's like full body chills that come through her whole body, and then it's like this restlessness, like of this thing that she has to say, of like the message that she has to give, and until she doesn't get it out, it doesn't go away.
no, that's very typical. It is the spirit's way of sort of saying, hey man, knock knock, and they're not going to stop fucking calling until you pick up the phone.
Yeah, yeah, but you can also though tell them like, not right now.
You can, but sometimes it doesn't do any good. I
Uh-huh.
mean, there's still an ever-present presence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like they're like, "Okay, fine, but I'm gonna stand here. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. There's nothing you can do. I'm not touching you." Right? It's like until you're like, well, "Okay, what the fuck do you want? Like, tell me
Yeah.
what you want."
Yeah, so she
Mhm.
had that, and then she had another one where she was having dinner with a friend at a restaurant, and then there was like three couples sitting at three different tables, and then she felt like it's cool. I was telling her she's developing her psychic library. She
Yeah.
said like she feels masculine energy on one side and feminine energy on
Nice.
another. So she knows when like when it's one over the other, and also like the age thing, like
Mm,
how how old the person was versus how young they were.
yes.
Those energies all feel different, and so she knew that there was a message coming through for like one of those three couples, sitting over there, and she didn't know which one exactly, but then she felt like real guided towards the one in the middle. And she
Mhm.
starts telling her friend across from her, and her friend was like not very helpful. She's like, you got to be careful with like who you talk to,
Ugh, discouraging her, and you're gonna get possessed and all that shit.
and it just she's just telling you like you got to be careful with like who you say things like that to because you never know how
Oh,
they're
I
gonna
see.
react or how they're gonna take it or whatever. Like she's thinking she's like I don't want to be like Teresa Caputo.
Dude, right? But Teresa Caputo, I mean, that happened to her all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if it's edited this way, but I've never seen somebody be like, "No, don't
Mm-mm.
tell me."
Right? No, no. Even if the people are skeptical, they're like,
Mhm.
okay. But I mean, again, you got Teresa Caputo with her giant hair and big old nails coming up to you, like, you can I tell you something? I got a message for you.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like, "No," because
It's Teresa fucking Caputo, bitch. Let's sit down. Yeah, you
yeah,
can tell me.
of course you can. Yeah, so, yeah, so she had that, and I told her, I was like, just I don't know, tell the spirit, "Hey, don't come, trying to give me a message if your person isn't gonna be receptive to it. Don't put me in the middle of this."
That's exactly what you say.
Yeah.
If you want me to deliver this message, you have to get them to come to me or be receptive to it.
Mhm. Yeah, so I was just trying to give her some of that, and then I was also telling her because she says that sometimes she gets overwhelmed, like, at work. There's this, like, overflow of energies just coming in. So I showed her kinda walked her through, like, the breath work and the grounding
Yes.
exercise to do before she goes into work. And then I started doing this thing because, honestly, sometimes I forget. Like, I'll forget to ground myself, and I'll be, like, at the gym or in a restaurant or something, and I'm just, like I feel myself just, like, be getting people's energy just coming over to me.
Hmm.
So I imagine I had this the other day where it was like I was feeling something from the couple that was sitting next to me. And mine are not fun. Like mine are not like, oh, like it's like their grandma coming in to tell them like, they're gonna be having a baby or something cool. It's mine is more like I can feel that there's anxiety in this relationship. She's unsure about where this is going and he doesn't really know what he wants and like shit like that where I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't I don't
Mm-mm.
wanna know this.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mind my
And
business.
mind
Mind
my
my
business.
business.
But so I just imagine like a brick wall going up in between us, in between me and the table next to me, just the bricks are getting laid, like kind of like a Minecraft
Hmm.
thing, and then like the next thing I know, there's just like a wall there, like I don't see you.
Mm-mm. No, no. I do the same thing with my neighbor. He's a young video gamer and he's got more anxiety than anybody that I've ever felt. You share a wall with him and all of a sudden
Hmm.
I'll feel it and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because it's not my guide's anxiety
Hmm.
for me is my guide saying, hey, channel. I need you to channel, so sit down and write something or else
Hmm.
whatever. But this is different and I'll be like throw up a wall between because we share a wall. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
it's good.
my intuitive hits aren't as fun as hers. I think I would probably rather have like a family member come through, but no, mine are I just read into people's like
You
things.
get their
Like
details.
yeah, I get their details. I can see the problems in their relationship.
Yes. Well, maybe you're meant to be a relationship coach.
I pro-
Using that ability. I mean,
Probably I am most likely
mm-hmm,
because it's in my astrology. My Chiron has to do
mm-hmm,
with relationships.
mm-hmm,
And then there's another like big placement, something about my Saturn or my Pluto. I don't remember which one, but yeah, there's a couple large placements that have to do with yes, it's relationship things.
mm-hmm,
But I know that I have to go through certain things for myself
mm-hmm.
before I get there, and yeah,
Yeah,
not there yet.
yeah. So, I mean, my biggest suggestion for anybody, not your friend,
Hmm.
you took care of that, but for anybody that experiences that, because what she's experiencing is a little intrusive. And to be honest, I don't experience my mediumship abilities like that. Like I know
Hmm.
that their opportunist spirits are, and I can sense them, but I am very easily able to just ignore them and be like, no, But
Hmm.
I understand that some people aren't. So what the best thing that you can do is really claim your sovereignty, set your physical, emotional, and energetic boundaries. Again, I don't ever eh, recommend shielding because shielding is it comes from a place of disempowerment. I'm not
Mhm.
powerful enough to control this or manage this, so I must shield myself. I must hide myself. You got
Mhm.
to make sure that your mindset is about claiming your space.
Yeah.
This is my energetic field. This is my etheric field. It goes out 15 feet around me in all directions. You can't intrude upon it. You can't push in on it. It's mine. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm busy. I'm trying to eat or work or whatever. So I'm sorry. If it's something that you need, that's when a lot of psychics and mediums struggle, because they don't set time aside specifically for spiritual connection. Because once they
Right.
do that, then the interference becomes less and less around them. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole protocol of just learning to maintain your boundaries energetically and intentionally, and it's really hard for some people. But if for new
Yeah.
mediums, they don't know what the hell they're, you know what I mean, like what's going on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I was telling her, because I get the feeling that she's as she continues to develop this, and obviously, just by develop it I mean just use it more,
Yeah.
um that it might get even stronger, and it might
Yeah,
get to the point
for
where
sure.
these people might want to like take over her body in that way, because she's kind of already doing that, a little bit of it. But I know,
So you mean like trance channeling?
yes, uh-huh,
Okay. Okay.
yes,
Which is
yeah,
different than like eh, taking over somebody's body, which is, can be considered in like the shamanic realm possession, which is
oh yeah.
typically not a thing. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
trans
trance
channeling.
channeling.
So our friend Sam, Sam the psychic, so we had, that was first season, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She talked about how spirit has tried to do that with her, and she's like,
Yeah.
no, no,
No.
like, don't do
Mm-mm.
that, get out, like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I so that's what I was telling my friend. I was like, it's that straightforward
Yeah.
as just saying, like, nope, don't do that, leave my body alone, like, I will relay your message, but don't come in here, don't leave this.
And trance channels are typically like, from the very beginning that you are meant to be a trance channel, and trance
Hmm.
channeling is very traumatic on the front end because you've never experienced it before. But the cool thing about trance channeling is that once you become adept at it and you've mastered it, like literally your physical visage,
Hmm.
your face changes,
Yeah.
and it is cool as shit, but it's also creepy as shit. And so, like, legit trans channelers are rare, because
Yeah.
channelers are like, no, just tell me, I'll
No. Yeah.
reinterpret it. You ain't gonna take over my body.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah. It does. And I know that there's that fear that people have when they tap into that intuition and stuff, that they're opening themselves up to darker things. Because I've
That's
told you, like,
yeah,
yeah, I have another friend who also has very strong mediumship abilities, but he doesn't want to tap into them at all, because that's the fear, is that he says, like, his own mind and his regular, everyday life tends to go towards, like, what's the worst that could happen, what's like the worst possible outcome, the worst possible, so he feels like, because he's
yeah,
already in that frequency,
yep.
that's what he might open himself up to. So.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. It's so interesting. I remember when I was a little girl, like
Mhm.
12, 13 years old, and I would say to myself randomly, I would sigh, I would go, oh, I wish I was psychic. Like I would say that
uh
all the time. And now later I'm like, oh, because I knew that that was something that was going to, pop up in my life, and I knew how amazing it would be. But it always amazes me at people that are afraid to open up to it.
Mhm.
And they just need the right mentor. But some people
Mhm.
are like, no, because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did I meet your friend New Year's Eve? The friend that you're talking about?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lovely human, that one.
All right. You got some announcements before we get started today?
This year, I want to cover a new reading. I want to talk a little bit more in depth about a different one each episode. And
Mhm.
so this week I want to talk about tetralogy. So, tetralogy. It is my biggest reading. It's a little bit spendy, but not only do you get a 90-minute recorded reading, you also get like a 40 plus page guide. And
Yeah.
it's basically a manual for mastering the next phase of your life. So
Mhm.
I definitely recommend this reading for someone who's like, you know what, I've got my shit together. I'm self-aware. I've done the work, but I'm going to continue to do the work. And now I just need to know how to do the work at the next level. So this is like
Mm,
next level stuff, tetralogy.
yes.
So what it is that I combine numerology, astrology, and human design within the Akashic records. So there's 4 modalities, but I'm interpreting 3 of them to put together all of the pieces of your legit and actual soul blueprint. Your soul
Okay.
blueprint is that path and purpose. It's the plan that you wrote for yourself as your higher self on the other side in the life between life stage before you incarnated. That's what your soul blueprint is. And I show you how all of the pieces of numerology, astrology, and human design fit together, and that helps you to create magic, manifestation, abundance, all of that stuff. So if you break it down, numerology is your plan, it's the what in your life.
Yes. Hmm.
Astrology is the details and the why.
Uh-huh.
Human design is your instruction manual, it's the how. So the
Astrology
what,
is
the
the
why,
why
and the
and the
how.
when too.
It's it all of it.
Yeah.
It all fits together in this beautiful sort of triangle that's circled and supported by the Akashic energy. So it creates a sort of guide to help you align with your life purpose and make decisions with clarity, ease, joy, and confidence. You just basically learn to trust yourself in every moment to create the life that you dreamt of. That's why it is really recommended for people that are like legitimately ready to up level.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, and it includes, like I said, a handout and all that stuff. So give it a look, see if it's something that resonates with you. If you want to book it, give it a book or send me a DM. We can talk a little bit more about it.
That's badass.
Thank you. I think so too.
And I just revamped my website,
Oh, you did?
which I did.
Which
I
which one?
So I now have a new URL. It is fioraliz.comBook.
Yay!
Because I couldn't.
Yay!
I was I
Very
was trying.
creative.
I was
Very.
trying. No, I was trying like different things, and I was like, you know what? I
Mm-mm.
don't. I
It,
can't. I don't want.
no, no,
No.
no. Honestly, and that's why I'm like, fuck it. JoeFigueres.com. That's what it is. I don't care.
Yeah,
No,
I threw around so many ideas, and I was like, no, because I don't want to come up with something else that I am then going to get tired of later.
exactly.
So I might as well just pick something that I can't get tired of.
I love it. Yay. fioraliz.com.
Yes. So I'm now offering, I have 2 new services. So one is a distance reading, and this is a clarity reading. So this is when you have something, a burning question, a burning topic, something that you're stuck on, something where you feel like you can't get over, something you're struggling with. So this is a reading to help you with clarity around that. So this involves your astrology to see kind of where you're at in your life and the stage you're at, but also just intuitively and with tarot and oracle to kind of help bring you some messages to kind of help you overcome that. And that's available as a remote reading. It gets emailed to you. You also have the option to review it with me on Zoom. Um,
Excellent.
and then this is what I'm really excited about is I am now doing an in-person service. So these are going to be local here in Riverside, California. And these are a cleansing and clearing session. So what I'm doing is I am offering this as a one-on-one. Um, and this is going to involve Reiki and a limpia, which is an energetic cleansing, and then obviously just a time to sit down and talk and to have that safe open space to share whatever's on your heart. And so this is just the beginning of my services for now, but those are now on my website.
I love that. That's so cool. And you guys, you have got to book with her for Olympia. They're lovely. I think they're lovely.
Yeah,
They feel
it's
good.
peaceful. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a peaceful thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay. All right. Good job. I am very excited about this for you.
Thank you.
What else? Do we have anything? Oh, retreat.
Yes.
Hmm.
So our upcoming retreat will be taking place in Michigan, in Newaygo, Michigan. This will be starting Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. And this is a plant medicine ceremony. And
Hmm.
all details and all that will be up on our website, esotericspodcast.com.
All right. Well, I'm excited for the details and excited for registration to open and all that good stuff. So
Yes.
we'll keep everybody posted. Let's see. Last week we had like we had like 30 minutes of tangents before we actually got to the topic. So today, we'll cut it. We'll cut it.
We're right. We're about there.
Uh,
We're about 20 minutes in or so.
yep.
But
Yep.
it's not, these weren't tangents though. I mean, yes, it's a tangent, but also it was actually directly related to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
good
all
stuff.
it all works, and it's all informative
Hmm. And fun.
information. Yeah. So
So what are we talking about today?
today we are talking about the intuitive body.
Excellent. Let's get to it.
So, Joe, you've done a lot of work helping people develop their intuitive skills and just developing their intuition. And if you haven't already, please check her website. Her website has a ton of resources for anyone looking for intuitive development.
It's in the works. Yes. More resources are coming.
Yes. And then also our Facebook group. I mean, our
Hmm.
Facebook group has a ton of stuff. If you just check files and posts and stuff over the years, search
Hmm.
in there, you'll find it. This is created because I want to talk about how intuition works with our bodies.
Nice. Nice. Very important.
I feel like a lot of times when we talk about like intuition, it's so like brain focused or like mind focused or like, oh, you have to be in meditation or whatever to be like super intuitive. Um, but I think that having that connection with your body is in like an empowering thing that helps you really tap into your intuition, because you learn to use your body kind of like a channel, right, to get that the intuitive hits and how they're coming in. Yeah, so I think just because our bodies can be such a conduit for information as it's coming through, and just really learning to be receptive to it. But all right, so the primary things that people talk about as far as advice on how to develop your intuition in general are grounding, meditation, and adjusting your frequency or your vibe, right?
Right.
Anything else that you can think of that are like the primary things that we normally say, like these are the things you.
Like connecting to your higher self, that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So with grounding, grounding is generally getting settled into your body and connecting to the earth. So a
Yeah.
lot of times we can do that through a guided meditation, through just closing your eyes, doing a little bit of breath work, and then imagining those roots extending from our body down into the center of the earth, which again is just like a guided meditation or
Beautiful.
self-guided meditation. But the point of that is really that you're calling back your energy back into your body, because as we have these interactions with people throughout the day, with work, family, all that, our energy gets expelled. And so what we're doing as we're grounding essentially is we're just calling all that back to ourselves.
Hmm.
Meditation, we have a whole episode on meditation, so I'm not trying to get like too deep into these. I'm just going to like touch on them so then we can really talk about the body. um with meditation, I've said this before, looks different for everyone. Like
Yep.
I'm a advocate for TM, but also I understand that like not everyone does well with just like sitting there with their eyes closed.
Mm-mm.
Like plant medicine assisted meditation I think is fucking awesome.
It's the
But
best.
but some people do really well with exercise. Like
Hmm.
literally most forms of exercise are meditation, because it's getting you it's connecting you with your body. It's just you and your body in that moment, nothing else. And that's really what all meditation is trying to achieve. It's trying to just disconnect you from that chatter of the outside world, your outside responsibilities, and then just allowing yourself to get in that flow. Like
And isn't that the whole point of meditation within like Buddhist
uh
circles? Is that the meditation actually prepared the body for yoga?
Right. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
connect with the body. Yeah.
So even in TM and transcendental meditation, they do these like weekly things that you can join in over Zoom, and they do yoga asanas before. Um, so this will be connected to what we'll talk about later, but part of it is one just like a little bit of self massage where you're just kind of like squeezing different parts of your body, like squeezing your arms, your legs, your shoulders, like and it's more it's grounding, it's like a grounding exercise. But then there's the yoga asanas that you do first, and I think it's like, I don't remember, it's like 8 or 10 different poses that you do, and then we actually get into the meditation. And that's not necessary to do with all TM meditations. That's just like an added extra thing that they offer, just to kind of help you stay in the mode of doing or being consistent with it or whatever. So, I mean, don't let someone else tell you what your meditation should look like. It's
Mm-mm.
it should look like whatever feels best for you, and it's okay to try different things and decide that it's not for you and go on to the next.
It's a very personal practice,
Yep,
very much so. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And then there's getting into the right frequency or like your vibe, checking your vibe, right? And so you can elevate your vibe. You can I don't like to fucking use the word elevate because I think that sounds like, yeah, you're putting it on a hierarchy.
Elevate. Raise your vibe, maybe.
Right. Yeah. So you can do this with music, with instruments, with sound tools, things like that. But the point of it being that you're trying to eliminate or minimize content, the things around you that may lower your vibe. So you've talked about this before, like when people are trying to get a message from like a loved one that recently passed away, but they're like so sad and they're so heartbroken that you're on like such a low energy vibe that you're just not going to connect because your loved one is that's not the frequency that they're on.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's all about the vibrational frequency, and it's not even about connection either.
Hmm.
It's like, are you going to be able to see and recognize the signs that they're actually giving you? But you can't because you're just immersed in this grief. So,
Yeah.
it's all about that frequency.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. So now let's talk about what it actually like. How do you tune into your body? Like, because this is again body focused. So one is the opportunity that you can create rituals for yourself to tune in to connect with your body. So one of them can be like doing like a body scan, like I talked about earlier. So going through, I've done this before, and it actually really helps when I can't sleep. Is you lay down, you just kind of try to relax as much as possible. You're trying to release the tension from your body, but you're going through each part of yourself, starting from the crown of your head. And the way that I did this particular body scan meditation is you're basically squeezing or applying pressure in however like you can through each part of your body. So from, let's say, your crown, you're basically going to like scrunch your forehead, and then you're going to scrunch your eyes, and then you're going down and then like making that like those like increasing the tension and then releasing it. And as you're increasing the tension and then releasing it, then you really dive into the release of each muscle group. And it's really cool as you make, so when you get to like your mouth and your jaw and you're like really tense up and like smile really big, like you, and then let that go.
It's like a
Yeah.
relief. I was doing it
it,
when you were
it
describing
is,
it.
yes, it is a really cool relief. So that's a really cool body scan meditation you can do. And so like I said, you start from your head and then you just work your way through. You squeeze your arms, you can squeeze your fists, squeeze your abdominals, squeeze your thighs, like squeeze your legs together, and just kind of do that. And then once you get down to your feet, you're basically just curling up your toes and then releasing that. But as you do that, and then by the time you get down to your toes, if you've done this correctly and you're just breathing pretty much throughout the whole thing, and you'll find yourself so deeply relaxed. It's great, especially like I said, if you can't sleep.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's one of like a ritual. Another ritual that I like is I love a good bath, like just,
Yeah.
and it's that opportunity to just sit with myself and do something for my body that my body enjoys. And so whatever that looks like for you, yes, a bath, also body work, you're like a massage from another
Mm-hmm.
person,
Oh,
um,
my favorite.
a saltwater float is
I've never
something.
done that before.
Yeah, it's essentially sensory deprivation therapy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Um, but it's great to just kind of like be able to not feel any like pressure in your body, to just kind of like let go, um, and just be one.
And just float.
Yep,
I think that would be fun, but interesting also to do that on plant medicines.
I did do it with an edible, and honestly, it was magical.
If, thank you, right? Validation. I'm going to do it. I'm going
It
to
was
do it.
great. It was great. Yeah. Another way to tune into your body is to just slow down your meals and eat intentionally.
Oh,
So
that's my worst one. I have such a hard time with that. I eat like a NASCAR driver.
a part of that is just not being distracted when you're eating. I found for myself, because, and I try to tell this to my kids, but god damn it, with like electronics and everything, they're just so like watching TV or like staring at their phone while they're eating, and I'm totally guilty of doing it sometimes too. But if, especially if like you already have a frayed relationship with food, where like you go to it because you're stressed out or you seek comfort or to numb out,
Emotional
whatever,
eater.
yeah, whatever it may be, it is important to not distract yourself while you are eating, so that you can connect your brain with your stomach as you're eating, so that your stomach can then send the message to your brain that it is full.
That's good information. That's super good information because I know I struggle with that.
You know what I do too? I do a lot of bored eating is my problem. It's like sometimes I'm like, I'm bored, but I'm probably more likely just thirsty.
So I was paying attention for a while because it's like, all right, I need to figure this out. I oddly enough, if I'm
Hmm.
frustrated, that's when I feel like not eating but snacking, crunching on crunchy,
Mm,
salty things like
makes
grinding up
sense.
the frustration. Yeah,
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we've talked about this before in a past episode as well, where I forgot the lady's book, but she talks about how different cravings equate into different emotions that you may be feeling or needs that you may be lacking. Like when you're craving a lot of sweets, aside from it possibly being your blood sugar, it can be that like you need sweetness in your life, you need more
Yeah.
love in your life, you're not getting enough of that, so you're trying to
Mhm.
give it to yourself in whatever way possible, which
It,
is, you
it wasn't
ice cream.
Louise Hay.
It was not Louise Hay.
No.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember. Mm-mm.
I'll maybe find it
Yeah.
and
Sorry, lady. We don't remember you, but
sorry.
we're referencing you.
It's there. I mean, I'm sure if you like Google that, it'll pop up. Okay. Breath work. Breath work is like, I've said just so many times, it's just the easiest thing because it's like readily available. You literally don't mean anything. Like you don't need anything except your body
Right.
to do breath work. Um, And when I say do breath work, it doesn't have to be like super complicated thing with like humming mantras and whatever, like, because that might feel weird. Although if like you like that, go for it.
Go for it. But
Whatever works for you. But basics, just starting off, is just inhaling through your nose and out through your mouth.
yeah.
Have you heard of like okay, there's this guy, and a lot of it has to be do with Ayurveda. So this is an Ayurvedic practice of avoiding mouth breathing.
You mean breathing in and out through the mouth?
Yes. So primarily while you sleep, not
Oh.
mouth breathing while you sleep. Yeah. So there's this Ayurveda thing where you can tape your mouth when you go to sleep. And this is to find out if you are actually a mouth breather while
Mm-hmm.
you're sleeping. So you tape your mouth and okay, again, commercialized, because now there's somebody that fucking made a tape that you like, a special tape that doesn't like hurt you or whatever when you take it
No
off.
shit.
Yes.
Cool.
So the point is you tape your mouth when you go to sleep. And that's how you'll find out whether or not you mouth breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But there are just like a plethora of health benefits of not being a mouth breather, include it's weird, right? Like imagine like waking up next to your partner and they just have a freaking tape over their mouth.
Oh my God, right? But there's also an insult, like when you call somebody a mouth breather. I'm pretty sure I've used it in reference to descriptive terms of like a Trump supporter, which I think somebody unfriended me over. I think actually several people did. It's like, well, I knew that was going to happen eventually. All right. We're not talking about that type of mouth breather. We're talking about.
Yes. We're just talking about it when it comes to Ayurveda. But yes, it does help like your diaphragm work better. So it helps with athletic endurance because it helps increase your oxygen intake, your circulation. So there's like a lot of benefits to nose breathing. But
There's benefits to not being a mouth breather.
exactly.
All right. Straighten up now, Joanna.
So my other thing is your body is constantly speaking to you, but you're not always listening. However, my advice on this is check how you talk to your body. How are you speaking to yourself? Because that has a lot to do with the connection that you have with your body.
Yeah.
Maybe your body doesn't want to talk to you because you constantly shut it down and say, like, especially, okay, I've heard this with people who they're not good with their hunger cues.
Right.
Maybe they're hungry and they ignore them. So it's like your body is telling you like feed me, and you're ignoring it, or you're saying like, oh, stop it, or whatever you could possibly be saying. um
Something I rarely, if ever, have struggled with.
I know people who are like, oh, I forgot to eat. I'm like,
What's wrong with you?
yeah, I forgot that I wasn't going to eat everything off of my plate, and
Mm-hmm.
here we are, empty plate later. So I've done this a lot more in the last few years, because for the longest time I was like the person who would be like, I don't I don't know what bloating is because I never pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
But just really just being more cognizant of like what's going on and how I'm feeling. And so now I know for sure, like now I definitely recognize like when something's not right, when I've maybe
Mm-hmm.
eaten something that it's like, oh yeah, probably that had cheese in it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
not fun.
Well, so I experience bloating like right after, like immediately after I eat like raw veggies, like cabbages and carrots and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, well, at first I was like, well, I think this is gas, but it doesn't last. It's not like then I have, gassy issues for
Hmm.
hours until the gas.
Hmm.
It's very quick, and it's uncomfortable. It lasts about 30 to 40 minutes and then it goes
Okay.
away. So,
Okay.
my body is having some reaction to
uh,
raw
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 f-
f- raw foods.
Raw
Yeah.
foods, raw veggies. Yeah.
Yes, and interestingly enough, sorry, a little bit of tiny tangent here. When I worked with the Ayurvedic practitioner here in Portland, her name is Nanisha, and she is a massage therapist, and she runs a business called Akasha Massage.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a new therapist here in the Portland area, connect with her. She's beautiful. But she gave me an Ayurvedic assessment
Hmm.
and actually told me that I should not eat raw
Yeah.
vegetables, and
Yes.
I love raw vegetables.
Yeah, certain people, I think it depends on your doshas and
Yep,
which
yep.
ones are more prominent than the others or whatever. That yeah, some people are just gonna do better eating raw foods versus others who are just like they're not gonna be able to handle it. Raw foods just have a lot more bacteria on them that you haven't cooked
Yeah.
off, with
Uh-huh.
cooking. So
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
so it
Interesting.
doesn't work for everyone. So yeah, so if you have one of those like raw vegan influencers on your page is always telling you about like the benefits of raw food, and we're like,
Yeah.
not
No,
not for everyone.
I mean, and mostly when I eat raw veggies, it's either a salad or it's a Buddha bowl, one of the two. And
Yeah.
I guess I could cook them and put them in my Buddha bowl and my salad, but then it's not a salad; it's fucking stir fry. So I want a goddamn salad. I'm still gonna do it. So the
S-
bloat, I'll just
well,
deal with it.
so certain things, right? Like I know for me, chard
Yes.
and kale.
Oh
Like
yeah, I
I
love them.
I can't do them raw. Like yeah, I like them,
Yeah.
but like
No.
it's gonna be bubble guts.
Oh,
Like
see,
yeah, it's
I don't
not.
eat them raw. I don't like them raw. I
I
like them
love them cooked because they cook
cooked.
so
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
no,
beautiful.
just a little bit of stir frying with them
Oh,
is the
yes.
best.
Yep.
Yes. So Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't have
Mm-mm.
to do everything just because everyone else is doing it. Like, you can
Mm-mm.
do things your own way.
Oh, we need to do a food episode that talks about all of, I don't know, just food, right? Like
Ugh.
yummy ways to cook it and all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Another thing to kind of help you connect with your body is to keep a journal. One, this helps with your intuitive abilities as you start to maybe get into the practice of automatic writing.
Yep.
Just getting a pen in your hand and a piece of paper and then allowing yourself to write. But if maybe that seems like, well, I've done this and then I'm just sitting here and I don't know what to write. When it comes to connecting with your body, this is a good way to kind of help with jotting things down, like just how you're feeling,
Yeah.
especially like after each meal. If doing this every day seems overwhelming, it's okay to do it maybe just like once a week.
Whenever you're called to. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're called to. I know I took this gut health course, and part of it, the very beginning of it, was just keeping a daily journal of like what you ate and then like your bowel movements and like how that kind of went throughout the day to really see like what exacerbates your digestive system and your digestive process and what doesn't. So but
Hmm.
again, like, because there's only so many things we can freaking keep track of in our head. Like, it's really important to just write things down.
So, in your previous incarnation as the Green Latina,
Hmm.
what was the primary focus of your services, your output to the world, what you were
Uh,
sharing?
at the time before when I created that website or that blog
Hmm.
was parenting, was like green parenting.
Green parenting.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily food.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I will tell you the reason I ask is because a lot of the practices that of my healthy practices and that I have now,
Yeah.
I've learned from you just from hanging out, visiting, and just things that you've mentioned. Like I have several pictures of my morning avocado toast that I haven't shown you
Oh.
because I'm like, well, I'm not going to slam her with all these pictures, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But and especially the gut health, like the
Mhm.
pickled adding the
Yes.
pickled stuff to your food,
Yes.
it's delicious, but it also so lots of good information that you have from all of your practices with eating.
Yeah, and all that, the eating stuff has really come just over years
Yeah,
of connecting with other people and just kind of trying things out and then seeing what works for me and what doesn't. One of
yeah.
my other things, I don't think I didn't make this for you, but one of my other go-to breakfast things aside from avocado toast, because I love avocado toast, especially I love it on sourdough because sourdough is pretty low in gluten. But I'll do like a sprouted wheat or something like that, something that's again like low glutens, just
Hmm.
because I don't know exactly how gluten tolerant I am or intolerant. It's more like an energy thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
anyway, it's a bowl that you make as your breakfast, and I do like it's a bed of spinach, and then I'll take eggs and um I like turkey bacon, so I'll usually just like
Hmm.
cut up my turkey bacon and then scramble it together with the eggs. So that on a bed of spinach and top it off with some kind of sauerkraut or kimchi. I make
Hmm.
curtido, which is
Hmm.
like our Salvadorian kimchi.
Those
Um,
onions that you had.
it's pickled cabbage,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but it
Okay.
doesn't stink like sauerkraut does,
Hmm.
and it doesn't have any like fish sauce like kimchi
Hmm.
does. So it's just a different version of it's a pickled cabbage basically.
Hmm.
But it's excellent, and that's one of my like favorite breakfast foods if I'm not doing avocado toast. Um, yeah. So
Yeah, good stuff. Good
yeah.
stuff.
Okay. So again, journaling, it'll help you with tracking food intolerances if that's a thing, or even like medication side effects. If you deal with chronic pain, it's also a good way
Hmm.
to kind of log like how you feel maybe in the morning, day, evening, all that, like after certain physical activities. Just you're trying to take a picture of your body's rhythms and your goals again, because this is going
Right.
to help you become aware and really connect with how you're feeling in your body. And if you're a menstruating person, tracking your cycles and the accompanying symptoms is really great. And there's like a ton of apps for people to do that. I don't get super involved with them. I just do like, yes, I started my period and I had cramps, like maybe this day or whatever, if I did, and that's it. I don't. again, there's only so many things that we can do. We have time for pick and choose. The last thing I will say, because our bodies naturally want to be in nature,
Mhm.
I believe. Um, so just taking a moment, what, how, and however that may be, because I know that it's harder, especially if you're living in like a large city and maybe literally all you have is the trees outside that are
Mhm.
planted on the street and you don't have much more than that. Whatever that may be for you, or water flowing like a fountain,
Yeah.
if you are in a city that where you can't, get out into the trees, but even cities, I mean, you have parks, like
Right.
something just and again, doesn't have to be a very complicated thing. It can't just be you sitting there watching a couple of squirrels for a few minutes and then, going back to your daily life, but it's just to take that moment to offer yourself that grounding and that peace.
Yes, definitely connecting with nature in whatever way feels good. It really is beautiful.
And then there's some questions that you can kind of ask yourself to help you take note of what intuition may feel like in your body. So take note, do some certain people make you feel drained or tired? Especially coworkers. Like I feel like coworkers are notorious
Mhm. Mhm.
to
Mhm.
make you feel drained or tired. And so yeah, so take note, like who makes you or who energizes you too. Because sometimes like you will have a conversation with a person and you're just like, oh, like, well, that's how I feel with you, right? I think that this works really well between us because I feel like we do that for each other. Because I know like when we were doing intuitive development together, and every time I get off the line, I'm like, aw.
Right. We've told people how we reconnected because we were both like we missed each other,
Yeah,
right? Just this
yeah,
client just this client connection, right? There
yeah.
was there was nothing specific, but we're both like that's weird. I miss her.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so aside from taking note of what maybe makes you feel drained or tired, who energizes you and makes you feel filled up, like, because that's also a good thing to take note of, and maybe call in more of that or try to connect with those people more. um do you get like a panicky feeling or something when you're in a room or a meeting? Maybe you're picking up on some like, I've walked into a room and I just felt like an overwhelming feeling of doubt, and it was because it was like a sales pitch, so it was like
Mhm.
everyone in this room had like this
Mhm.
doubt over what they were about
Mhm.
to watch.
Mhm.
um and yeah, so I wonder, I think about that a lot when I see like speaker events, like those Tony Robbins type
Oh, yeah.
things, because I feel
Mhm.
like I wouldn't do well in a in a crowd like that.
I hate that fucker. Researchers have found, and there is tons of evidence and case studies and all that stuff out on the Google,
Hmm.
that your solar plexus and your sacral,
Hmm.
the two connected,
Hmm.
the general area of that, and also really your root chakra as well, but that your solar plexus contains our quote unquote second brain. That is where you also experience all of the things that you experience in your brain, but you experience them at the emotional, the feeling level.
Yeah. Yes. Another feeling that may be common is a feeling like in your throat when you hear something sad. I've felt it when someone is telling me a story and I can feel that there's like regret or something that they like felt like they should have said. It's
Mhm.
it's the throat chakra, right? Like feeling
Mhm.
blocked. That's how I feel that certain thing.
Oh, that's cool. That's a really cool intuitive sort of indicator as well,
Hmm.
that there's something that the person has to say or has to
Yes.
speak their truth. I get a
Yes.
tickle there. I get a it's an itching. It's weird,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Sam, she gets like a like dry mouth. Like she's got to
Oh
like drink something. It's like she gets
yes.
like a real hoarse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So again, like building your psychic library, like tuning
Mhm.
into how things pop up in your body. That
Mhm.
whole full body chills. Do you get that feeling? When does
Mhm.
it come through? Is it maybe when you're talking about something?
Mhm.
Ringing in your ears.
Mhm.
We've talked about this. It's usually most people usually account this to downloads coming in,
Mhm.
but I've also felt it when I guess it is a download, but I feel like it's like a message, like an archangel message that comes
Yeah.
in. It's usually a ringing.
It's weird because if you really truly attune to those and you pay attention to those, they just pop in at the craziest, weirdest times. It's usually because of
Mhm.
a thought or because of something, but they can be, yes, they're downloads, but they can also be validation. It can also just be you are legit hearing your spirit guide speak to you, and that's just what it sounds like, is that beautiful tone.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful tone, a musical tone, key, note, whatever.
Do you ever get like the fluttering in your stomach as a feeling? Not obviously, like not like uh, hungry or anything like that.
um I mean, no. I'm the tingling in my legs, tingling in my whole body. I don't think I ever have experienced fluttering in my stomach, other than when you feel the fluttering of like love, or
Yes.
a
Yeah.
crush or something. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I would feel that. It was always like when I was like a teenager and stuff, right? Like when you're like
Oh, yeah.
young.
Okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're asking. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you meant
Yeah.
in regard to intuitive hits, but no, yeah, that's like the best feeling in the world. It's like squee, cute boy. I like this cute boy.
And it's cool. The other day, I honestly don't remember it, but there is like a scientific explanation behind like, butterflies in your stomach,
Is there?
and
I would
yeah,
love to. I would
yeah,
love to find that out, dude. I fucking miss being in love so much. It's been over 10 years, and I miss it so much. I just think it's so fun, and it's beautiful, and it's just
yeah.
cool, and it's the zero operating, um I guess, frequency of a human is
hmm
love, and or the foundational operating frequency, whatever, but I miss it.
So I'm reading about it right now. It's the release of adrenaline and cortisol,
Yeah.
which increases your heart rate
Hmm.
and then shunts blood to your heart and leg muscles away from your digestive system. And the blood vessels surrounding your stomach and intestines constrict and the digestive muscles contract.
That's why
And
you don't want to eat when you're in love.
that makes sense. I remember when
Hmm.
I was like a teenager and I was like, I
Hmm.
could not eat around a boy that I liked. It was like suddenly I was not hungry. I was like,
Uh-huh. I don't need food. I have
I
love.
I have love. I'll just eat love. And now I'm like, "Pff, chow away. Let's go have pizza, babe."
Yeah, let's go eat. Let's go eat. Let's go eat.
Exactly. Yeah. So aside from butterflies, when you're happy or you're excited, where do you feel that in your body? Does your heart feel light? What lights up around you? So that specifically, getting in tune with your body is goes hand in hand with building your psychic library.
Hmm.
When the hits come in, where are you feeling it? Like I feel stuff in my ears, you feel stuff in your legs. Sometimes it's like your whole body. But really building that library comes from tuning into your body.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's going to take some practice to learn how to differentiate like intuitive hits, and then also like there's going to be some ego stuff, but I feel like with your body isn't going to lie to you the way that your ego would, because you're, and not that you're, I don't mean like lie to you, because your ego does it, your ego can, because it's there to protect you.
Yep.
The things that it's meant to protect you from are sometimes legitimate and sometimes it's not, because it's like not actually something that you should be afraid of anymore, but again it's just trying to do its job. But the ego can come in as that voice, right? Whereas the intuitive hits, when they come in through your body, I feel like that's more, it feels more natural, and I feel like it's something, especially when you're grounded, you can trust more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just posted a meme in on the Akashic Studio, which is my business page for jewelry and readings and all that stuff on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And it's from one of my favorite dudes on the Twitter, Tarot Reader Peter. I
Oh
love
yes,
him.
I love him too.
And he says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the major difference between anxiety and intuition is that anxiety comes as incomplete thoughts, what ifs, worries, doubts, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intuition comes through as clear guidance and messages with zero hint of doubt or worry. And I posted, yes, Peter, yes, this is the difference. It legitimately is. Intuition is expansive and inspiring, and it makes you feel, even if it makes you feel scared, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to find out, right?
Yeah.
Ego or anxiety is the fear of missing out, or the fear of, if I don't do this, something bad is going to happen. So there's this fear energy. So honestly, learning to differentiate those two and how they feel in your body and what physical triggers come with those two emotions, intuition versus anxiety, or ego, that is one of the most powerful tools that you can add to your intuitive toolkit, is
Yeah.
differentiating between those two.
Absolutely.
Game changer type shit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Tarot reader Peter, one of my favorites.
Me too. Yeah.
He's clever name too. Clever Peter. Very clever.
Well, that's all I had for us today.
Thank you. That was a really good conversation. It was interesting, very, very helpful. I love this 7 universal year, because it seems like the universe again is just inspiring all of us with, how can we deepen our intuitive practices? And that's really what Tools for the Modern Mystic is geared toward. And this is what you're doing, your new venture, fioraliz.com, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's all geared toward helping people get clarity on who they are, what they're doing, what they need to know in order to empower themselves to be more powerful, intuitive practitioners. I mean, shit, we have our soul blueprints, we have maps, we have tools, we have all of it. We just need to learn, figure out what our toolbox looks like and put it to use.
There's it's that phrase, or it's kind of overused now, but like that hurt people thing.
Yeah.
But like, what if like healed people heal other people?
It's true.
I totally think that's true. Yeah, I really think that's true. And I think it's beautiful in that way of like that. Yeah, maybe you're not going to be like a tarot reader as a way to make your living, but maybe you're going to gain information, insight, knowledge that you are then going to be able to help and pass on to others, and then in turn empower them. And just by that, like, how much more beautiful our world can be, because people will be so much more self-aware.
Absolutely. I tell my clients this all the time, when they are, let's just say they're accountants, right? You don't need to use your intuitive abilities to be an intuitive reader.
Yeah.
You can be the best goddamn accountant, because you can look at people's finances and intuitively find inspiration and guidance and, magic in helping these people. So, that is the tool that every single human being comes with, and it's meant to help us master our life path. End of story. That's what our intuition is. It's our internal GPS, and everybody should master it, because they'll just live life at bigger, better, more amazing levels, I guess,
Yes, absolutely.
I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you came up with it. Were you inspired by it? What inspired you?
Yeah, well, the whole thing with my friend and her
that's right,
her ghost stories.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, everyone. You can find us on all the socials under Esoterics Podcast, especially on Facebook under the Esoterics Community. You'll find that in Facebook groups. This is a safe place to ask questions on all things spiritual or not.
Yeah. And also, really quickly, I want to touch on, if you join the group, but you're not seeing it in your news feed, or your Facebook feed, because Facebook algorithms suck. You have to actually, we talked about this last time. I think you have to go to the page. You have to change your, what you receive, how you receive it, prioritize
you can
it.
Pin it. Yeah.
Pin it, all that stuff. But then you also have to make sure that you engage with the content that you enjoy, and all of those things will keep it in your feed.
Yep.
But it's a place, for finding support and information for developing your own spiritual and intuitive practices. Join us.
Thank you guys for inviting us into your life. Stay mystical, magical, and don't let anyone tell you what to do.
Bye.